read the debate topic so you know what we're doing. Opportunity, that's the topic. Diligence, self-determination, and hard work effectively counter the effects of lack of opportunity in creating socioeconomic mobility. And Haley, whenever you are ready, start the timer. What? No, don't put it.
Yeah, so just do this whole thing for opportunity.
You can just stand up at your desk. Oh, and will you be able to see them then? Cross, if they stand at their desk, will they?
Yeah, we'll be okay.
Alright.
We'll figure it out.
No worries. Ready? Set. Go.
Yay,
It
that's
is
fine.
stated that the American dream is the opportunity for each of America's individuals to pursue happiness. And while some would argue that the lower class Americans are unable to gain socioeconomic status as a result of their circumstances, the fact is that hard work, persistence, and determination can create new opportunities for success in the absence of a steady home life, higher education, wealth, or social standing. Take, for example, Oprah Winfrey. The name probably brings to mind wealth, specifically $3 billion, which is Oprah's estimated net worth. What will probably not come to mind, however, is sexual molestation, split parents, and teen pregnancy. But these are the challenges that Oprah faced growing up. Born to a teenage mother, Oprah was raised on her grandmother's farm, where she learned to read and recite Bible verses. But when she was 6, Oprah was sent to Milwaukee to live with her mother, where she was repeatedly molested by her male relatives. Emotionally damaged, Oprah would later run away and give birth at 14 to a baby boy who died in his infancy. After this devastating event, Oprah went on to live with her father in Nashville. There, Oprah was offered a complete scholarship to Tennessee State University. And in 1976, Oprah successfully co-hosted her first show, and she later moved to Chicago to host another. Bolstered by her success, Oprah launched her own talk show in 1986 entitled The Oprah Winfrey Show, and Oprah's program earned $125 million through its massive popularity. Now, Oprah made it in spite of the lack of opportunity surrounding her. Oprah didn't have the benefit of a normal, stable family life. Whatever education she had from high school would have been interrupted as she ran away, and she certainly didn't benefit from lots of money. What Oprah did have was a grit and determination to make the best of whatever opportunities came her way. Still, it may be argued that Oprah didn't make it her way entirely by herself. It cannot be stated that Oprah did not benefit from learning to read at a very young age, the guidance of her father, and her scholarship to TSU. This must be conceded. But if this would make the listener dubious of hard work's unparalleled ability to raise people out of lower socioeconomic classes, let me reframe my argument around another individual. John Paul DeJoria is the co-founder of 2 multi-million-dollar companies dealing in top-of-the-line shampoo and spirits. But even though DeJoria is estimated to be worth $3.3 billion today, his beginnings were far from luxurious. Born to immigrants from Italy and Greece, DeJoria's parents would divorce him when he was just 2 years old. So when DeJoria was just 9 years old, he had to support his family by selling Christmas cards door to door. And DeJoria was homeless twice in his life, once when he was 22 and again in 1980. It was during that year when DeJoria left his wife and whatever money he had in order to begin his shampoo enterprise. Living from his car, DeJoria sold his shampoo from door to door, salon to salon, and it worked. With all of his legwork DeJoria put in, people began to purchase John Paul Mitchell Systems shampoo, and as of 2011, it earned an estimated $900 million. Now, with his parents that had never had a higher education, with his own education limited at a high school level, with no house and no money to his name, John Paul DeJoria was able to make himself successful by working hard, staying strong, and persisting in the face of slim opportunities. He didn't need a college education or friends in high places. He didn't need mountains of capital. All he needed were his products and his 2 feet in order to make himself a billionaire. So it has been proven that individuals facing even the most wretched of positions can overcome them to gain success. Our opportunities, or lack thereof, do not define us. It is not where we start along the path to success that shapes where we end up along it. It is whether or not we choose to move down it. Really?
Number 7. For Kaylee.
Just click it once. No, just click once. Click once.
Click it, just click the name one.
No, wait, you guys cross out.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, click.
So do all of us answer or one of us?
No, I just asked for.
Oh, we just scored.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Corley, do you believe that Oprah and DeJoria stick up for the majority and that if others do the same as them, they will succeed?
Yeah, if you work hard, you should succeed in America.
Okay. Would you believe that also, since these people are like famed for their hardships, that you would be also admitting that the others are part of the majority, because if these are famed for these hardships, then you are therefore admitting that these hardships are like not part of the majority, because they are famed for these. I know that sounds really weird. Okay. So by stating that these people are famous because of their hardships, you're therefore like admitting that these hardships are for the majority, and the only reason that they are famous is because they have broken these hardships, which is part of the minority.
They earned their fame by working hard.
Yeah, but by saying that they've earned their fame by working hard, would you be saying that other people are not working hard?
I look really happy. All right, go.
Lack of opportunity revolves around three key factors: family income, housing location, and education. Historically, the United States has been coined as a land of opportunity and equality. America brought optimism and ideals for mobility, and this expansive belief in possibility and the charm of emancipated success is deeply embedded in the nation's psyche. We'd all like to believe that none of this has changed, and that hard work and determination still counters the lack of opportunity in America, and thus enabling the possibility of socioeconomic mobility. However, as the growing wage gap between the rich and the poor increases, opportunities for the poor decreases, resulting in an ongoing cycle for the lower class families. A low-income household leads into impoverished housing communities, leading to poor education and resulting in a constant cycling of poverty and no opportunity for mobility. Lack of opportunity cannot be simply fixed by good work ethics because it becomes too difficult for the poor to mobilize. For the majority, hard work will not counter this cycle because money and nepotism are now no longer a privilege, but an obligation for success. The upper class income continues to grow in America, and this money is being taken away from the middle and lower class. Chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors, Alan Kruger, revealed that in 1965, the average CEO earned about 18 times as much as the average worker. Starting in 2011, the average CEO now earns over 200 times as much. This money is essential for mobility because low family income plays a crucial role in its members' housing and education. Lack of education is another major factor that has proven to be a large determinant for future success. Education is affected by family income and by the community. As the rich get richer, the money contributes to the child's education. They are able to pay for the best schools for their children and thus give them a key advantage for success. Meanwhile, children who cannot afford private schools attend the schools closest to them, and the quality of education is often complemented by the quality of the community. Poverty proves to be a major factor when examining the 2012-2013 graduation rates released by the New Jersey Department of Education. Cape May County has a zero poverty rate and a 95.1% graduation rate. Mercer County, on the other hand, has a 31% poverty rate and graduation rate that is less than 50%. Yet the problem does not stop there. A high school diploma does not hold the power that it used to. The Labor Department statistics by the Economic Policy Institute in Washington reveal that Americans in 2013 with a 4-year college degree made 98% more an hour than people without a degree on average. The college diploma is a weapon of choice, but finances are its kryptonite. The cost of a college degree in the United States has increased 1,120% in 30 years, according to the Huffington Post. It has become even harder for determination to bring success when money is needed to attain it. No matter the effort, the cycle continues. Little money, little community wealth, little education, and no socioeconomic mobility. It costs to succeed. Diligence, self-determination, and hard work do not effectively counter the effects of lack of opportunity.
All right, we're resetting for cross.
One click.
Got it. All right, go.
So, whack. Do you believe that the quality of the community, how does it directly affect mobility?
Well, I do believe that although correlation does not prove causation, I do believe that it has proven to be a really huge effect in a child's education. Like for example, if an adult, a rich family is able to pay for a child to afford a private school, then they are going to better educate themselves and have more future success.
What does that rich family have to do with the community?
Well, oftentimes the community that this rich person lives in may be better set than those of the poor family. And if a poor family has to live in that community and they cannot afford to get out of that community, then they will go to the public schools closest to them.
Okay, and do you believe that hard work has no effect on any mobility whatsoever?
We do not. We just do not believe that it does effectively counter the effects.
Thank you.
All right, 2-minute regrouping time, go.
I know.
All right, are we ready? Scorers ready? And go.
Okay, so my opponents made some good arguments. Decent arguments. They're okay. But made some flawed points. They said that without education, people just can't succeed. If they have a bad community and they don't have the ability to have good education, then they just can't move forward. But that's just not true, as seen in our DeJoria example. He had no education. He moved up and he is a multi-billion corporation owner now. They used a lot of statistics too. That was pretty neat, right? A lot of statistics, hard facts, yeah. But statistics, it's interesting because they can blind you to the triumphs of certain individuals in society. But if all you can listen to is statistics, well then, here's a statistic for you. A very recent Pew Global Research project shows that Americans place an especially strong emphasis on the value of hard work. In fact, 73% of Americans think it's very important to work hard in order to get ahead in life, compared to a global median of only 50%. Does this statistic show that opportunity can't be overcome? Does this statistic show the hopelessness in Americans? No, it doesn't. It shows that Americans, more so than the rest of the world, believe that they can become successful through hard work. Does this prove undeniably that opportunity can always overcome hard work, can always be overcome through hard work? No, of course not. But as long as the ideal exists in the majority of Americans, how can the lack of opportunity not be overcome? Americans have become inspired by role models such as Oprah Winfrey, who started as a troubled adolescent in a small farming community, yet grew up to become a billionaire actress, philanthropist, publisher, and producer. Perhaps ideals and models are not enough, however. This is why President Obama himself said, "What drives me, him, as an American, is to make sure that every striving, hardworking, optimistic kid in America has the same incredible chance this country gave me." With the leader of the free world and 73% of it following him, working hard against lack of opportunity, how can a lack of opportunity not be overcome by hard work? Obama himself came from very humble beginnings, and look where he is now. President Obama also said that opportunity means if you work hard, you should make a decent living. If you work hard, you should be able to support a family. President Obama, the leader of the free world, believes that a lack of opportunity can be overcome by hard work. And his testimony is backed up by his own experience and the 73% of America that believes in success through hard work.
All right, reset timer for 1 minute, Cross. Ready? All right, Cross, time starts now.
Do you believe that there are other factors than hard work and the ones that we mentioned that are more prominent in determining a person's success?
Not more prominent, no. There are definitely other factors, but I believe the most prominent is definitely hard work and perseverance, because in America that can get people miles.
And did you investigate to determine if all your sources that you used, both you and Corley, were credible?
Yes.
And how did you determine if they were credible?
Well, the ones from Obama were from direct citations from a White House speech that he gave. And the statistic we got was from pewglobal.org. That's Pew, big place for statistics.
Thank you.
All right, we're set for 3 minutes. Give us a second. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Okay, as my teammate previously stated, opportunity is defined by 3 key concepts: education, family, and housing location. In our society today, education has become crucial in order to be successful in a well-paying career. The New York Times states that the college degree is becoming the new high school diploma. However, without the access to education opportunities like excellent schools or colleges and the money to pay for these schools, further education is nearly impossible. For example, the American Psychological Association estimates that poor students, or the bottom 20% of all family incomes, were 5 times more likely to drop out of high school than high-income students, or the top 20% of all family incomes. This dropout rate is partially due to stress in early childhood, which leads to a lasting impact on learning, behavior, and health. As up-credentialing in the workplace is increasing, the unemployment rate for workers with no more than a high school diploma is rapidly rising, with an 8.1% unemployment rate versus the 3.7% rate of those with a college degree. Yet not all children in the United States have equal opportunity for schooling, which relates to the second element of family income. The National Center for Children in Poverty states that more than 16 million children in the United States live in families with incomes below the federal poverty level, which is $23,550 a year for a family of 4. That being said, research shows that on average, families need an income of about twice that level to cover basic expenses. As families struggle to meet the needs of the most basic needs of life, there is no opportunity to pay for extended schooling. Families are forced to accept the public schools in their neighborhoods, even though they may not offer the best education. Closely related is the area of opportunity. With low incomes, families have less options for housing. The American Psychological Association claims that some neighborhoods or communities are concentrated disadvantage with extremely high levels of joblessness. The evidence is even more obvious in areas of cultural difference. The poverty rates for Black and Hispanic are 3 times the rates for white families, offering the minority an even further disadvantage. The Huffington Post shows that white unemployment rate is 8.1% in contrast to Latino at 10.2% or African American at 14.1%. Areas of concentrated minority place a heavier burden on the children growing up in these neighborhoods and offer less of a chance to receive higher education and escape poverty. While my opponent states that individuals facing the most wretched situations can overcome them, the 3 components of family income, education, and housing location are more prominent in aiding to a successful career. I also notice my opponent is continually utilizing the same examples. And yes, I agree that there are a few individuals that escape the hardships they were born into. However, they are not the majority. Diligent self-determination and hard work do not effectively counter the lack of opportunity in creating socioeconomic mobility.
Alright, we're sitting for our 1 minute prompt. Last prompt.
Okay, wait, sorry.
Is it the last prompt?
I don't know.
We have one more. Sorry, we have one more.
Wait. Okay. All right.
Here we go.
Okay, we good? All right, Courtney. I believe that you made most of your arguments based around the 3 key values of success, right? I believe one of them was education that you guys said was extremely important.
Yes.
And you stated that it has become almost impossible to gain a secondary education, which is pretty much, in your words, key to becoming successful in this country today. Is that true? So what about the effects of programs such as affirmative action, scholarships, welfare programs that help lower class youth, people living in ghettoized areas of our country, those government programs that were put in place purposefully in order to help those people gain the secondary education that you stated was so important?
Yes, it is important, and programs such as affirmative action are helping students that are born into harder surroundings where they have less opportunities for schooling, and I do believe that those are helping them. However, that is still not a majority, and the percentages of children that escape,
Alright, 2 minute break. Bjorn.
Yeah.
Got a 3 minute timer, ready, set, go.
We were asked the question, can diligence, self-determination, and hard work effectively counter the effects of lack of opportunity in creating socio-economic mobility? The answer to this question is yes. Today we have taken a look at several individuals who are able to overcome insurmountable obstacles, push through all the challenges that life threw at them, and ultimately they were able to recognize their dreams. Oprah Winfrey was born into poverty. She suffered years of abuse and neglect. She found herself in a life that seemed to have no future, no hope of a better tomorrow. But this is not the life that Oprah Winfrey knew that she deserved. It was not her destiny. Oprah Winfrey worked every day of her life to achieve her goals. The life that she was born into was not one that seemed marked for prosperity. The life of an African-American girl born in rural Mississippi was one that would be forever stuck in a quagmire of social and economic stagnation. But through hard work, through effort, through self-determination, Oprah was able to reshape the life she had been given. She was dealt a bad hand, but she knew that if she worked hard enough, it would not be her ultimate fate. Look at Oprah today. She serves as an idol and an icon for millions of young girls around the world. She is a self-made billionaire. She became the woman that she knew she deserved to be through hard work and determination. We also heard the story of John Paul DeGioia, the son of divorced Italian Greek immigrants, a man who went from homelessness to selling shampoo out of the back of his car to becoming the owner of a multi-billion-dollar corporation. He felt the effects of the lack of opportunity, and his hard work is what gave him the ability to move forward, to achieve his dreams. Every day, more statistics and studies are released that paint an ever more grim image of the future. The wage gap between men and women is widening. The rich keep getting richer, and while the middle class keeps finding itself slipping farther and farther into poverty. How are we, as Americans, supposed to remain optimistic when an article from Forbes magazine claims that this generation will be the first one to earn less money than their parents? Men and women such as John DeGioia and Oprah Winfrey had the same grim future that we do. They were able to push forward. Their hard work, their self-determination, that is what allowed them to gain their opportunity. The stories of Oprah Winfrey and John DeGioia are the kind of stories that our nation was built on. That idea of the American dream. The dream that anyone with a little bit of hard work and a little bit of determination has the chance to make it in this country. If everyone takes the stories of Oprah Winfrey and John DeGioia to heart, if everyone is able to remember the struggles they had to go through to reach their dreams, and if every one of us remembers that if they can overcome their struggles, then why can't we do the same thing? Thank you.
All right, ready? Last speech, Tara.
Yes, hard work and determination are key factors to success, but they are not enough to overcome the injustices of lack of opportunity. Education is crucial to climb the ladder of success. Drew D. Silver of Pew Research reports that high school graduates make over $20,000 less annually than college graduates with a bachelor's degree. This disparity has grown as education has become more of a priority to become successful. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York reveals that 44% of graduates, defined as people aged 22 to 27 with a bachelor's degree, were working in jobs that didn't require a college degree. The share of underemployed recent graduates in low-wage positions has risen from 15% in 1990 to 20% today. Without the ability to receive higher education, individuals that work extremely hard are still inferior to their wealthy and educated counterparts. Lower levels of education lead to less availability to high-paying jobs, which in turn lead to lower income and housing opportunities. The community that one lives in, especially if the community is impoverished, heavily affects the level of education a child will receive. If a family lives in a poor community, the options a child has for education become limited. Without wealth to pay for private schools or transportation to better public schools, a child is unable to attain the primary education necessary to boost them into the prestigious colleges that allow them to achieve high economic success. Looking through a cultural lens, we can see that children excel when not burdened with community poverty. Do Something notes that 16 to 24-year-old students who come from low-income families are 7 times more likely to drop out than those with families with higher incomes. Similarly, less than 30% of students in the bottom quarter of incomes enroll in a 4-year school. Among that group, less than 50% graduate. This cycle is continuous. Low education levels lead to low-paying jobs and less ability to send children off to schools that allow them to receive a higher education. Hard work and self-determination cannot work against these factors in order for individuals in poverty to mobilize. The few instances where a person is able to succeed against the odds, like Obama or Oprah Winfrey, are not enough. The majority of people who struggle every day to break their social barrier is vast. Additionally, technology has allowed machinery to take over jobs once occupied by humans. Tim Worstell of Forbes reports that as technology advances, machinery and robots are estimated to take over 45% of all jobs. This obstacle will make finding a high-paying job even harder. The cycle of poverty will continue. Hard work and self-determination and diligence do not counter the effects of lack of opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah.